In today's news, body of male found in vehicle. No foul play is suspected. Premier of the Virgin Islands announces a $382.67 million budget for 2024. KADEEM MAYNARD has been sentenced to 57 months in U.S. prison. A UK national, KENDALL, appointed superintendent of prisons here in the Virgin Islands, and all roads lead to the ANEGADA Lobster Fest this weekend. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Angie, how can I get my claims paid quick? Rent's due next week.
CG processes 99% of claims within 5 days. Remember when I was hang gliding with those goats? I caught a gust of wind and flew right into a moving car. Every appendage was in the cast, and they paid fast and fairly. That's what I get for trusting a man with a mustache and an eye patch. Now I gotta go. I'm meeting the guy who bedazzled my toes.
99% of claims are processed within 5 days. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Catch all the action from the 2023 NFL games with CCT Live on various channels, including ESPN Channel 412, ESPN2 Channel 413, Telemundo Channel 315, and Fox Channel 304. When you subscribe to any CCT Fire plan, you'll automatically bundle CCT Live. For more information, visit your nearest CCT store or give us a call at 444-4444. Choose CCT Live and enhance your game day experience.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Thank you all so much for joining us, and a happy Tuesday is wished to each and every one of you. Beginning on our newscast earlier today, residents of the Lower Estate area called the police after observing a body of a male parked in a vehicle. Of course, the body has been identified, but the name is being withheld, as of course persons closest to him need to be notified. Of course, no foul play based on the circumstances surrounding has been suspected. The body has since been removed from the area, and of course investigations are ongoing. Our team, of course, was on the scene. We happened to be there to provide the updates, and we will continue to do so as information becomes available. We'd also like to take this opportunity to wish condolences to the family of that young gentleman. Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Whitley, has announced a budget of totaling some $382.67 million for the 2024 budget. Premier Whitley provided the figures during the 2024 budget address at the 6th sitting of the 5th session of the 5th House of Assembly. Now, of the total budget, he said $360.24 million is expected to come from taxes, $5.96 million from the grants, and $16.47 million from, and I quote, other revenue sources. The total figure also represents a recurrent expenditure of $376.95 million and a recurrent surplus of over $15 million, which the Premier detailed.
Some $159.75 million is allocated for employee compensation, $93.94 million for goods and services, and $83.66 million for grants to parastatals, statutory bodies and other organizations, and international bodies based on existing commitments. Provisions in the sum of $7.6 million have been made for property and other expenses, $345,000 for subsidies, $6.5 million for interest payments, and $25.16 million for social benefits. Through prudent financial management, the Ministry of Finance projects a recurrent surplus of approximately $15.7 million would be realized, which would be directed to debt servicing.
Total capital expenditure is estimated at $70.9 million, for which $45.45 million will be for development projects and $25.45 million for capital acquisitions. The Premier also detailed how his government intends to raise the aforementioned funds.
Funding for capital projects and acquisitions will be raised via the following sources: $15.92 million from the Development Fund, $3.1 million from the Transportation Network Improvement Fund, $5.82 million from the Reserve Fund, $1.9 million from the Miscellaneous Purpose Fund, $9 million from existing loans, and $35.15 million from new loans. The foregoing, Madam Speaker, will result in a balanced budget.
Now, viewers, as it pertains to the allocation of ministries, the Ministry of Health and Social Development is expected to receive the largest percentage with some 20.38% of 95,092 million, followed by the Ministry of Communications and Works with 15.92% of 74.94 million. Premier Whitley provided a comprehensive breakdown of the allocations.
The distribution of allocations in the 2024 budget are as follows. 11.55% or 54.36 million to the Governor's Group, comprised of 50.35 million in recurrent expenditure and 4.01 million for development. 5.02 or 23.62 million to the Premier's Office, comprised of 18.51 million in recurrent expenditure and 5.12 million for development. 8.4% or 39.52 million to the Ministry of Finance, comprised of 31.77 million in recurrent expenditure and 7.75 million for development. 1.68% or 7.91 million to the Ministry of Financial Services, Labor and Trade, comprised of 7.75 million in recurrent expenditure and 160,000 for development. 2.67% or 12.55 million to the Ministry of Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change, comprised of 8.43 million in recurrent expenditure and 4.12 million for development. 11.34 or 53.38 million to the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, comprised of 50.53 million in recurrent expenditure and 2.85 million for development. 20.38% or 95.92 million to the Ministry of Health and Social Development, comprised of 69.59 million in recurrent expenditure and 26.33 million for development. 15.92% or 74.95 million to the Ministry of Communications and Works, comprised of 54.57 million in recurrent expenditure and 20.38 million for development. 4.07% or 19.16 million to the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sustainable Development for recurrent expenditure. 3.42% or 16.11 million to the constitutional established bodies, comprised of 15.92 million in recurrent expenditure and 197,600 for development. 12.36% or 58.17 million is allocated to pensions, public debt and funds contributions, and 3.2% or 15.1 million is set aside for miscellaneous expenditure.
The 2024 budget represents a decrease when compared to this year's budget of $412,971,000. KADEEM Maynard, son of the former BVI Ports Authority boss, Mrs. Ovaline Maynard, was sentenced on Monday to serve 57 months in a U.S. prison after previously pleading guilty to one count of conspiracy with former Premier Andrew Foy, along with his mother, to import cocaine into the United States. The sentencing, of course, which is deemed lenient for the 32-year-old, is part of his plea deal agreement to assist authorities in further investigating relating incidents as it pertains to this case. According to court documents, KADEEM and his mother Ovaline signed off on a factual proffer which stated that between March 16, 2022 and April 28, 2022, they both, along with the Premier of the Virgin Islands at that time, conspired with each other and an undercover drug enforcement administrator agent who was disguised as a member of the Mexican cartel to ship thousands of kilograms of cocaine through Tortola to the United States. KADEEM is the first of the three defendants to be sentenced in the case, and Ovaline will be the next to know her fate at her sentencing date on January 18, 2024. Former Premier, that is, Foy, remains the only defendant who has pleaded not guilty in the case, and his trial, after numerous postponements, is scheduled for January 8, 2024. Foy, who is currently on bail, is charged with conspiracy to import cocaine, conspiracy to engage in money laundering, attempted money laundering, and interstate and foreign travel in aid of racketeering. Viewers, up next, we have more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
This November, the sun rises on the northernmost island of the Virgin Islands and shines over an unforgettable 3-day experience. The Caribbean's most anticipated food festival, the ANEGADA Lobster Festival. The 24th to the 26th of November, the island's best restaurants present their best lobster dishes and other delicacies while you and 3,000 of your closest friends soak up the sun. Enjoy music from top bands, seaside activities, and win awesome prizes. There's nothing quite like the ANEGADA Lobster Festival. The 24th to the 26th of November. Book a room or catch a boat and be there. You'll see it's the taste and fun you need.
Only in ANEGADA, it's the best you will ever. It's a fun time together, wanted to last forever.
Black Friday just got better at VI Motors Parts Point on Virgin Gorda. Join us on Friday, November 24th from 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. for the ultimate Black Friday sale. Score big with a whopping 20% off the entire store. Yes, you heard that right. 20% off on vehicle parts, tires, filters, tools, batteries, and all your favorite car accessories at VI Motors Part Point. But wait, there's more. Spend $20 or more and get a chance to win a 55-inch Smart TV, a 10th generation Apple iPad, a $100 gift certificate from VI Motors, a $100 gift certificate from CTL, or one night stay at the View Hotel. This isn't just a sale, it's a celebration. We're bringing the party to you with delicious food, refreshing drinks, and lively music. This Black Friday, make VI Motors Parts Point your destination for incredible savings, fun, and a chance to snag that fabulous 55-inch Smart TV. Mark your calendars. Friday, November the 24th from 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Drive into savings, rock into the festivities, and win big. Only at VI Motors Parts Point on Virgin Gorda.
Welcome back, everybody, and thank you so much for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. The ANEGADA Lobster Festival will this weekend lead the BVI Food Fete year-long activities, described as the grandest celebrations in the Caribbean from 24th to 26th November 2023. Take a look.
It's just really amazing, you know, and it's just to see what we can really accomplish when the community comes together, all the different businesses and the relevant stakeholders, because ANEGADA Lobster Festival is a national event at this point.
Indeed.
You know, and it means so much to, you know, the residents and the business persons over on ANEGADA. And we're just really happy to be in our 11th year and make it happen.
At the Lobster Festival, thousands of visitors are expected to flock to ANEGADA to take part in the scavenger hunt styled trek around the island to sample the creative lobster recipes of ANEGADA's top restaurants. Visitors to the islands also take advantage of exploring the many attractions of the BVI's only coral island, including the conch shell mounts, the flamingo pond and conch shell lookouts, the ANEGADA destination sign, and the Faulkner House Museum. Now, to encounter festival goers, of course, to patronize the multiple restaurants, the BVI Tourist Board and Film Commission has organized fun activities such as the scratch cards or stamp cards, where patrons can play for special prizes as they dine at participating restaurants.
We have a record number of 12 participating restaurants in the ANEGADA Lobster Festival this year, and we have various vendors as well, because they're also various establishments that aren't exactly restaurants,
Correct.
You know,
but they want to participate.
They want to be a part of it, you know. So we have 12 restaurants, and we have other persons involved, persons that have bars and barbecue pits and things like that. And we have a lot of vendors. We've had various meetings with the stakeholders over there and the whole business community over the previous months, being engaged with them, and it's been really great, you know, like staying in touch with them, being underground in the trenches with them and visiting all the different businesses and hearing their stories. And it's just really great to hear so many persons look forward to it and what they've been able to accomplish and to grow their businesses. It's really a great feeling when you get to touch these persons and hear their experiences like that.
The 12 participating restaurants prepare lobster samples as diverse as lobster rolls, lobster fritters, curried lobster, or the quirky lobster ice cream.
Prize that's going to be, you enter to win the grand prize this year. So once you visit 7 or more establishments, participating restaurants there on ANEGADA, when you get there, we're going to have a welcome bag for you. We wouldn't give anything away what's in it right now, but you're going to be greeted by the Tourist Board and Film Commission staff, of course. And when you go to the participating restaurants, you're going to get a stamp on the card. So once you get 7 or more, you can just fill it out, the card, your name, your email address and phone number, and you will be entered for the chance to win 2 round-trip tickets between the BVI and Miami, Florida.
Incredible. And we can't pass that up at all. That's an opportunity, of course.
That's sponsored by TravelWise Limited. So we want to thank TravelWise for that generous sponsor.
I'm glad there are various methods of transportation to and from ANEGADA, and Mr. Walters also spoke about this.
Definitely, we can get to ANEGADA either by sea or by air, of course. So there are flights going over to ANEGADA with Fly BVI. They have a flyer out, I think it's $70 one way and $90 round trip.
Yes.
And of course, we have the various ferry companies and barges running from Tortola, Joost Van Dyke, and Virgin Gorda. I know Speedy's has ferries, boat rides, even from both Virgin Gorda and Trellis Bay Beef Island. And then we have Ocean Dreams.
Yes.
They're leaving from the USVI, so they're leaving from both Red Hook on St. Thomas and St. John. And a new addition I just saw added, New Horizon Ferry Services has a ferry that's leaving from Joost Van Dyke. You can head straight over, so that's really amazing, you know.
UK national Mr. Drake Kendall has been appointed Superintendent of His Majesty Prison, Balsam Gut, Tortola. He brings over 17 years of experience in the criminal justice system to this role. Most recently, he has served as the Superintendent of Prisons on St. Helena Island, where he designed and implemented the prison's 5-year development plan, as well as worked to progress the new prison build project on the island. As the new superintendent of prison, Mr. Kendall will be responsible for the oversight of all prison operations, as well as the enforcement of applicable laws and policies at His Majesty's Prison, Balsam Gut. Minister for Health and Social Development, the Honorable Vincent O. Wheatley, said he is elated to welcome Mr. J. Kendall to the post of Superintendent of Prison for the Virgin Islands. Honorable Wheatley said, and I quote, "Mr. Kendall comes to the territory with a wealth of knowledge and experience. He said, I'm confident he will bring the experience which will help to support and propel the rehabilitation and security of the prison system of the Virgin Islands." Acting Governor Mr. David D. Archer said, and I quote, "Mr. Kendall's appointment is a step forward as we continue to evolve this vital branch of the public service. We have a mandate," he said, "to ensure that qualified and capable professionals are in place to provide impactful leadership, and he said, I'm confident in Mr. Kendall's ability to do so." Up next, we have more on the local scene. We'll be right back.
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, you enjoy the rest of it. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes,
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
There goes my new car.
Guess I'm back on my bike.
Your bike? CG offers new car replacement. Remember my monster truck days? Well, one night I attempted a 50-foot pogo double backflip. I landed it and went to karaoke. It wasn't until afterward that my car got hit by that fisherman. He gave me some great mahi-mahi though. Anyway, they paid fast and got me in a new car. Now call a cab. I want you to meet my alpaca guy.
New car replacement for the first year of ownership. CG Insurance. Good like that.
The push was to understand whatever we need in the second district, or whatever we need even in the Virgin Islands, we have the capacity, we have the resources, we have the knowledge.
We have to improve our primary health care. What we have seen over the years, anybody could tell you this, we have seen a decline in the level of primary health care. That is the clinics.
I think party politics, political agendas, after April the 24th should have been put aside.
How do you move government resources? How do you better understand the system? How do you get your piece in there first and so on to make sure that you get the most?
Folks will hear things about what we have in mind to get done for the district very soon.
The government who is responsible for all of these policies and programs, they're the ones who really have the handle for all of these things.
We saw the challenges in terms of how those funds were being misused and mismanaged, and we need to ensure that we have a transparent system in place to ensure that persons who need help are able to get help.
We are not going to be able to attract the kind of investment that I just talked about, that you and I just talked about, in terms of new money and new business, unless we clean this country up.
This fall, we're bringing you closer to the heart of democracy. Introducing Just for the Record, First 100 Days. We asked elected members of the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands to account for their actions, successes, and shortfalls at this significant milestone since their swearing in. Find out starting Thursday, November 2nd at 8 p.m. Just for the Record, First 100 Days, exclusively on 284 Media. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. You are watching 284 News out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Continuing on, the Honorable Lorna Smith, OBE, Minister for Financial Services, Trade and Labor, has highlighted business outreach along with youth skills building as two critical priority areas addressed during her first 6 months in office. Minister Smith underlined the importance of actively connecting with businesses and along with investors who have contributed to the Virgin Islands economy and communities through ventures and employment creation. Fostering these relationships remains vital to her ministry's objectives.
These groups drive our economy. They are the job creators and bring us growth and prosperity. These face-to-face dialogues are vital for me as a minister to keep in touch, and is something I intend to continue for the rest of my term.
Implementing initiatives to equip young Virgin Islanders with relevant skills for accessing jobs has also been a key focus. Now, efforts to align vocational training programs with the current and emerging labor market needs have already been underway.
The Ministry of Financial Services, Labor and Trade will be an essential counterweight as we come to grips with these views. We now finally have the government representation we need in the many international and governmental institutions with which we deal. Integrating this critical sector under one umbrella with labor and trade means that we can also ensure better coordination of policy creation and implementation. These areas of responsibility are crucial to our continued growth and prosperity. Together, we will help us to attract inward investment to restore and improve our infrastructure, to develop and maintain the right skills base, to meet employer requirements, and finally to train and mentor our young people so they are ready for tomorrow's job market.
Additionally, Minister Smith emphasized the integral role of the ongoing national census that it will play guiding the government's planning towards sustainable development goals. Of course, the insights, she said, gathered will help to inform strategic interventions on everything from infrastructure projects to social services.
While business has its priorities, government must act for the benefit of all. This is why the ongoing census is so important. It is the only way we can obtain an accurate picture of the population we serve and decide on how best to plan our economic and social development. I urge all of you who have not yet completed the census to do so. Only then can we accurately devise the right policies to benefit you and the whole of the BVI.
As she continues leading her ministry's mandate to strengthen the industries and island's financial services industry, local trade and workforce sectors, the minister reiterated the stakeholders' collaborations and creating opportunities for VI residents that will remain a central priority moving forward. Viewers, I want you to, of course, tune in to Tweet4 Media's tonight for a new episode of Just for the Record, the first 100 days in office, bringing you closer to the core of our democracy by providing elected members of the House of Assembly, the most recent, of course, in the most general election, an opportunity to reflect on their first 100 days in office. Of course, we invited all 13, not all 13 answered the call for accountability. In tonight's episode, we welcome our guest representative for the 4th District Union Minister for Culture and Tourism, the Honorable Luce Hodge-Smith.
It's a little different on this side of the fence because as a civil servant, there are certain rules and regulations and policies and all these different things that you have to follow. First of all, I have to get it. I have to get used to it. Get used to being put in front of the line, being recognized as Honorable Luce or Honorable Hodge-Smith. You know me. Just doing things and in my district, finding out the people's needs, attending meetings, of course, attending House of Assembly. I made one contribution thus far. First of all, you don't have the access to certain resources that you need to get things done, so you have to depend on others, in my capacity, that is. So they recognize too as well that I have to take a little time to get settled, and I think I am settled now.
Full episode with Honorable Hodge-Smith will begin at 8 p.m. sharp only on CCT Live. Also stay tuned on Facebook, YouTube, and 284 Media for the subsequent release of tonight's episode, which will be available from next week. Today's online release features representative for the 1st District Junior Minister for Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Carl Dawson.
Well, the first 100 days, I'd say, have been interesting. Some challenges, but overall, I would still say rewarding. I try to follow along based on the things I promised on the campaign trail, so that some of the issues that would have come immediately, issues related to water, issues related to the incinerator, and so on. Even though they weren't necessarily that I could find the absolute solution, I still try to continue to press and try to make some progress on those issues. When I got in, there were a number of smoky days, and then for maybe a better part of 1 or 2 months, things had calmed down. They had it managed a bit because it's something that's near and dear to the heart of people across the territory, and also certainly near and dear to the people in my constituencies. A lot of some of the leading fishermen are right there from the 1st District. The first few things I would have tried to do was try to get a feel for the lay of the land, what's happening in fisheries, what happens in agriculture. So I would have had a number of individual meetings, some smaller group meetings with individuals from both sectors, trying to understand what the key issues are and what they see as the opportunities, and even within the people in the ministry and department, try to understand what their aspirations are. When you're elected, first of all, you don't even know if you'll be a part of the government, and then when you're a part of the government, you may be assigned any portfolio. So it's not a matter of saying that you were preparing for a portfolio.
The full interview can be found on all social media platforms. Viewers, that is it for today's News Roundup. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Of course, be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at tweet4media.com, and of course, like us on Facebook and Twitter at tweet4bvi and tweet4 on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Continue to be well. Happy Tuesday. Goodbye.